Hello Stampers, this is Yana Smakula for My Favorite Things. Welcome back for another video tutorial. In this video, I have a mini slimline friendship card to share featuring the new Something to Squawk About stamp set. Let's jump right in. I started working on my card by stamping the images from the Something to Squawk About in Memento Tuxedo black ink onto smooth white cardstock. I used my mini MFT stamping tool and I stamped two panels. I have the adorable birds, the branch, a bunch of leaves, and also some flowers. I used Copic markers and did some quick coloring to bring these images to life. I used YG03 as the lightest green, YG17 as my medium green, and YG67 as a dark green to color all of the leaves green. I love to use this flick style coloring method as it allows me to easily add a little bit of texture to my images. To create the flicks, I typically hold the marker at the very end and I just gently flick the color onto the paper, leaving visible brush strokes with my marker. I use this technique in these exact colors to color all of the leaves. I did leave a little bit of white on some of these images, creating natural looking highlights. Now you can always add a highlight to your colored images using a white pen, but I prefer, whenever possible, to leave the paper white. And I can do that using this flick style coloring technique by not extending the flicks all the way to the stamped line or to the edge of my image. Next, to color the little flowers, I used hot pink colors. RV09 as the darkest pink, RV06 as the medium pink, and then RV00 as the super light pink color. I didn't worry too much about the flower centers as I was planning to either color them white using a white pen or add some gems on top to add sparkle, and that's what I did at the very end of this process. I also used pencils. Now these are Polychromos by Faber-Castell, and I used pencils to add detail to my images. I flicked some additional color in very fine detail lines onto the flowers using pink pencils, and then I also added some detail onto the leaves using green pencils. Pencils work rather well with or on top of Copic markers. Now, these are a great medium to use to add additional detail to your images. I also colored the branch brown using E37 as the darkest brown, E39 medium brown, and E31 lightest brown marker. And here, once again, I added detail using a dark brown pencil. Now, pencils can be sharpened to a very sharp point, allowing you to add even the smallest details to your images. And that's the best part about using pencils in combination with Copic markers. As for the birds, I colored them in bold tropical colors starting from red to yellow to blue. I used R39 as the darkest red, R27 as a medium red, and R24 as the lightest red to color the head of the bird red. Next, I slowly transitioned onto yellow, coloring the birds using Y19, darkest yellow, Y08, medium yellow, and Y11, lightest yellow. To color the tail, I used blues, B99 as the darkest blue, B34 as a medium blue, and B21 as the lightest blue. I then brought the yellow onto the blue, mixing these together and creating green. I first applied the color using my markers and then came back in and added flicks using the same color markers and also colored pencils. I used cool gray markers to color the beaks, C7, C5, C3, and C1 markers. I also added a touch of C9 to deepen the shadows and really make the bottom part of the beaks very dark black. Here you can see me adding the pencil detail onto the birds. Now you can add as much detail as you like and really take your time when coloring with colored pencils. I personally love to combine markers to apply the base color onto my images and maybe some detail, and then I like to use pencils to add very fine, very beautiful detail to my images. With the coloring done, I cut the images out using coordinating dies, and I did that off camera. Next, I cut a panel of dark green cardstock and I heat embossed one of the sentiments from this stamp set in gold embossing powder. It reads, "You're the kind of friend I'd share my branch with." I used my mini MISTI. I prepped the panel with anti-static powder. I stamped the sentiment in clear embossing ink and added the gold embossing powder on top, and then heat set it all with my heat tool to melt the powder in place. I also made a mini slimline card base for this panel and for my card. The card base measures 3¼ by 6¼ inches, and I adhered the sentiment panel onto the card base. Now I used a lighter green cardstock for the card base here, just to change things up a little bit, as I didn't want the card base to be white. I kind of like that the outside of the card is dark green, and then you open the card and it's still green, but a lighter green color, the kind of color you can actually easily write on. Now, if you didn't like the green card base, or if you feel it's a little bit too dark to write a sentiment, you can always add a white cardstock panel inside to write your message on. Next, I used a combination of foam adhesive squares and glue to adhere my die cuts onto the card, creating a little scene. I have a branch in the center of my card with my 2 birds sharing it, hence my sentiment. I also have a lot of tropical foliage surrounding the birds and framing the scene a little bit from the top. I love that this stamp set includes the little flowers as well. They added a perfect touch of pink onto this card. With all of the die cuts in place, I used my scissors and I trimmed the excess die cuts off. And finally, I finished the card by adding a bunch of gems. I also dressed up the flower centers by adding 3 tiny gems in the center. I just love how they sparkle in the light. So here's a look at this card. I hope you picked up a few tips and tricks in my video and will give this idea a try yourself. If you do, you guys know the drill. Please share online and tag us on social media. We always love seeing what you're making. Subscribe now and do hit that bell icon not to miss any new card making tutorials. Thanks for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.